$35 trillion. That's not just a figure. It's a symbol of America's economic reach and vulnerability. But who really owns this colossal debt, and why does it matter? How does this huge financial burden shape U.S. policies, influence global markets, and affect everyday life? Today, we'll uncover how America's debt defines not just its future, but the future of global power and economics. Let's start with a quick primer. The U.S. national debt, now hovering at $35 trillion, is the result of years of spending on everything from defense to social programs. But who holds this debt? While the majority is owned by American institutions like the Federal Reserve, nearly one-third is controlled by foreign nations. This group includes economic powerhouses like China and Japan. In fact, China alone holds over $1 trillion of this debt, positioning it as one of the largest foreign creditors. So, what does foreign ownership of U.S. debt really mean? Let's break it down. Countries like China and Japan lend money to the U.S. through purchasing treasury bonds, effectively becoming creditors. This gives them a significant amount of leverage. When they hold so much of the debt, they have a hand in controlling U.S. economic policy. But it goes beyond just monetary influence. These countries can use their economic power in a variety of ways, through sanctions, currency manipulation, and even military alliances. The debt also plays a crucial role in global trade relations. For example, when the U.S. borrows money, it needs to pay interest on the debt, which has ripple effects on global interest rates. Foreign creditors have the power to adjust their holdings, influencing U.S. interest rates and, consequently, inflation. In times of geopolitical uncertainty, like trade wars or military conflicts, foreign creditors may use their financial influence to push for changes in U.S. policy. This could manifest as favoring certain trade deals or adjusting currency values to protect their own economies. It's not just about economics, it's also about power. The countries that hold large portions of U.S. debt effectively hold a portion of America's fiscal future in their hands. If foreign creditors decide to stop purchasing U.S. bonds or start selling off their holdings, they could destabilize the U.S. economy. This has happened before. For instance, when China threatened to reduce its U.S. debt holdings back in 2008, it caused a brief panic in the financial markets. Though they didn't follow through, the mere threat was enough to make the U.S. rethink its economic strategy. So, who wins and who loses in this global game of debt? The winners, naturally, are the creditors. They gain economic leverage, influence U.S. fiscal policy, and have a say in global economic decisions. But what about the average American citizen? They're on the losing side. As the U.S. borrows more to cover its spending, interest rates rise, inflation increases, and the cost of living grows. This creates an unstable economic environment for ordinary citizens, who bear the brunt of the financial burden. Moreover, as more money is owed, the U.S. is forced to make difficult decisions about where to allocate funds, often sacrificing critical domestic programs to pay back interest on the debt. As America's debt continues to grow, the dynamics of global power are shifting. The U.S. once enjoyed unrivaled influence over global trade markets and geopolitics. But now, foreign nations holding U.S. debt have the potential to influence U.S. policy in ways that could reshape the world order. For example, China's growing financial influence in Africa, coupled with its hold on U.S. debt, has allowed it to gain a foothold in one of the world's most resource-rich continents. This balance of power means America's economic and political decisions could become subject to the whims of other global players. So, what does the future hold? The long-term consequences of America's debt are profound. If the U.S. doesn't address its fiscal policies, particularly its reliance on borrowing, the consequences could be dire. We may see higher taxes, cuts in government spending, and a reduction in the U.S.'s ability to fund key social programs. Foreign creditors could gain even more influence, leading to a potential loss of sovereignty in fiscal matters. This growing dependence on foreign debt may also trigger a shift in global alliances, as countries like China, Russia, and the European Union work to create alternatives to the U.S.-dominated financial system. The $35 trillion question is more than just a financial figure. It's a question of power, influence, and global stability. As the debt grows, the U.S. faces a critical choice: how to manage its finances while safeguarding its economic sovereignty. The decisions made today will shape the future of the U.S. and its role in the world. The key takeaway? Watch for changes in global alliances, interest rates, and emerging markets. These will be the indicators of shifting power in a world where debt and global influence are inextricably linked. Stay informed, stay engaged, and subscribe for more insights into how global economics are reshaping the future.